Beyoncé is untouchable. In the hierarchy of global celebrity, she exists at a level most people can only imagine. She does not chase fame. She does not need validation. She does not play the games that lesser celebrities must play to stay relevant. When Beyoncé attends a private event, it is not for publicity. It is because she chooses to be there. And when she extends even the smallest gesture of recognition towards someone, it can change their trajectory overnight. Meghan Markle understood this. She knew that proximity to Beyoncé meant something more valuable than any palace title or Hollywood contract. It meant legitimacy in the one arena where Meghan desperately seeks acceptance, real celebrity royalty. So when both women allegedly attended the same exclusive private event, sources claim Meghan saw her opportunity. But what she asked for, what she expected Beyoncé to provide, has reportedly left the entertainment world stunned. Because according to insiders who witnessed what happened, Meghan's request was so inappropriate, so tone-deaf, so desperately calculated that Beyoncé allegedly responded with something she rarely shows anyone: public rejection. And now word from those familiar with the fallout suggests that Meghan has been quietly blacklisted from the elite circles where Beyoncé's opinion carries absolute weight. What did Meghan ask for that crossed a line even she should have recognised? And how did her humiliation at Beyoncé's hands become the story nobody in Hollywood will speak about publicly but everyone knows? To understand why Meghan allegedly approached Beyoncé so desperately, you need to go back to the calculated strategy behind her Hollywood positioning. Long before the private event where everything fell apart, long before she became a duchess, Meghan studied the architecture of celebrity power. Sources familiar with her Los Angeles years claim she understood early that real influence in entertainment comes not from talent or hard work, but from association with the right people. And Beyoncé, according to insiders, represented the ultimate association. Word from people who knew Meghan during her pre-royal years suggests she tried multiple times to access Beyoncé's world. She allegedly attended events where Beyoncé might appear. She cultivated relationships with people in Beyoncé's extended circle. She positioned herself in spaces where even brief proximity might create opportunity for connection. But according to sources, those attempts went nowhere. Beyoncé's world is famously impenetrable. Her inner circle is small, loyal, and protective. And Meghan, in those early years, simply did not have the currency to gain entry. She was an actress on a cable show. Beyoncé is global royalty. The gap was insurmountable. Then Meghan became a duchess, and suddenly sources claim she believed that gap had closed. She allegedly thought royal title plus celebrity ambition equaled the credibility needed to approach Beyoncé as a peer. People familiar with Meghan's mindset during this period suggest she convinced herself that she and Beyoncé were both powerful women navigating fame, race, and public scrutiny, that they had common ground, that Beyoncé would recognize a kindred spirit and welcome the connection. According to insiders, Meghan allegedly spent considerable time crafting the perfect approach, the right moment, the ideal request that would transform casual acquaintance into meaningful alliance. She was wrong about all of it. This is where the story shifts from ambition to humiliation. So what actually happened at the private event where Meghan allegedly approached Beyoncé? According to sources who were present, the gathering was intimate and exclusive, the kind of event where cameras are forbidden, where attendees are carefully vetted, where privacy is absolute. Meghan was reportedly there through connections she had carefully cultivated, not because Beyoncé invited her. And witnesses claim Meghan spent much of the evening positioning herself near Beyoncé, waiting for the right moment to make her approach. When that moment came, sources say Meghan allegedly asked Beyoncé for something that left people nearby visibly uncomfortable. She reportedly requested that Beyoncé publicly endorse her and Harry, that she use her massive platform to defend them against critics, that she essentially lend her credibility to validate the Sussex narrative. But here's what made it worse. According to insiders, Meghan allegedly framed this request not as a favour, but as something Beyoncé should want to do, as if supporting Meghan was inherently valuable to Beyoncé's brand, as if their struggles were equivalent and mutual support was natural. People who witnessed the exchange claim Beyoncé's response was immediate and cold. She allegedly declined with a directness that left no room for negotiation, and sources suggest she made it clear through her tone and body language that the request itself was inappropriate, that Beyoncé does not lend her name to anyone's agenda, that her platform is hers alone, that Meghan had fundamentally misunderstood both their relationship and Beyoncé's character. What happened next, according to insiders, was devastating for Meghan. Word of the exchange allegedly spread through the event within minutes. Other attendees reportedly witnessed Meghan's humiliation and Beyoncé's rejection. And in elite circles, sources say that kind of public rebuff is a mark that does not fade. Meghan had overplayed her hand, and everyone saw it. As whispers of the Beyoncé incident began circulating through entertainment and social circles, reactions revealed brutal hierarchies. Want to know how Hollywood's power players responded when Beyoncé rejected Meghan's approach? Inside the entertainment industry, sources say there was immediate understanding of what had happened and what it meant. Senior figures who move in Beyoncé's orbit reportedly were not surprised. They claim Beyoncé has always maintained absolute control over her public positioning and fiercely protects her platform from being leveraged by others. The fact that Meghan allegedly asked for public endorsement, according to insiders, showed fundamental misunderstanding of how real power operates in entertainment. You do not ask Beyoncé for validation. If she chooses to offer it, that is her decision alone. Meanwhile, other celebrities who had maintained surface-level support for the Sussexes allegedly took note of how decisively Beyoncé declined Meghan's request. Word from entertainment insiders suggests that in Hollywood's unspoken hierarchy, Beyoncé's judgment carries more weight than almost anyone else's. If she publicly rejected Meghan's approach, sources claim, it signals to others that Meghan is not someone whose agenda deserves support. And in an industry built on calculated associations, that signal matters enormously. But the reactions were not uniform. According to sources, some figures in Meghan's remaining circle tried to reframe the incident as Beyoncé being unwilling to support women of colour, as another example of Meghan being rejected by people who should be allies. Yet insiders claim this narrative gained no traction because too many people witnessed what actually happened. They saw Meghan's inappropriate request. They heard her tone of entitlement. They watched Beyoncé's justified rejection. The incident could not be spun as anything other than what it was. Meghan overstepped. And the most powerful woman in entertainment put her in her place. Those close to the situation suggest Meghan has tried to pretend the incident never happened, has avoided discussing it even privately. But sources claim the damage is done and permanent. But here's what most people don't know. What else did Meghan allegedly ask for beyond public endorsement? The whispers emerging from that private event paint an even more troubling picture. The first whisper involves Meghan allegedly requesting that Beyoncé introduce her to specific entertainment industry figures. Not as a friendly gesture between peers, according to sources, but as if Beyoncé owed Meghan access to her network. Insiders claim Meghan presented this request as mutually beneficial, suggesting that Beyoncé's connections combined with Meghan's royal platform would create valuable opportunities. People familiar with the conversation suggest Beyoncé found this framing insulting, as if her carefully cultivated relationships were resources to be shared with someone who brought nothing of equivalent value. The second whisper is more specific and more damaging. Multiple sources claim Meghan allegedly asked Beyoncé to participate in Archewell initiatives to lend her name and star power to projects that would elevate the Sussex brand. According to insiders, this request revealed profound misunderstanding of how A-list celebrities protect their associations. Beyoncé allegedly had no interest in being used as celebrity endorsement for ventures she had no creative control over and no reason to trust would succeed. The third whisper involves what sources describe as Meghan's tone during these requests. People who overheard allegedly say she spoke to Beyoncé not with the deference appropriate to their different status levels, but with presumed equality, as if royal title meant they operated on the same plane, as if Meghan's struggles with media criticism were equivalent to Beyoncé's decades of navigating fame at the highest level. Insiders suggest this tone contributed to Beyoncé's cold response more than the specific requests themselves. The fourth whisper is what allegedly sealed Meghan's fate in Beyoncé's eyes. Sources claim Meghan referenced Beyoncé's past public gesture toward her, using it as leverage for why Beyoncé should help now. This allegedly crossed a line. Beyoncé's past acknowledgement had been her choice. Meghan treating it as obligation reportedly disgusted not just Beyoncé but others who witnessed the exchange. To understand how Meghan gained access to the private event where this humiliation occurred, you need to understand the network that got her through the door. So, who were the intermediaries that positioned Meghan in Beyoncé's proximity? According to sources familiar with elite social circles, Meghan was allegedly invited through connections to the event's host, not through Beyoncé's circle. Insiders claim the host was someone who felt sympathy for the Sussex narrative and believed bringing Meghan into exclusive gatherings would help her rebuild Hollywood credibility. This person allegedly did not realise they were setting up a disaster. People close to the situation suggest Meghan may have deliberately sought invitations to events where Beyoncé would be present, understanding that casual social settings create opportunities that formal requests never would. Word from sources claims she calculated that catching Beyoncé in a relaxed environment would make her more receptive to conversation and requests. The strategy backfired catastrophically. The second architect of this disaster was allegedly someone in Meghan's own advisory circle who encouraged her to be bold in approaching powerful figures, who told her that her royal status gave her standing to make requests of anyone. According to insiders, this advisor fundamentally misunderstood how celebrity hierarchy works and led Meghan into a humiliation that could have been avoided with proper guidance. Sources suggest this advisor has since been quietly removed from Meghan's team, though the damage was already done. These architects, according to people familiar with the fallout, created the conditions for Meghan's public rejection by failing to understand both Beyoncé's position and Meghan's actual standing in Hollywood's brutal pecking order. What makes Beyoncé's rejection truly dangerous for Meghan is not just the immediate humiliation, but what Beyoncé now knows and could reveal. According to sources close to Beyoncé's inner circle, she does not typically share private conversations or expose people publicly, but she also does not forget when someone approaches her inappropriately or tries to use her platform. Insiders claim Beyoncé has told close associates about the incident not to spread gossip, but to ensure her team understands why Meghan is not someone to collaborate with or endorse. Word from those familiar with Beyoncé's network suggests this quiet communication has rippled through entertainment industry power centers. People trust Beyoncé's judgment. If she declined Meghan's approach and found it inappropriate, sources claim, other major figures take that seriously. This creates permanent damage for Meghan that no PR campaign can repair. Because Beyoncé's rejection was not about personal conflict or jealousy, it was about recognition. Recognition that Meghan's approach was calculated manipulation rather than genuine connection. Recognition that she saw Beyoncé as a tool rather than a person. And recognition that supporting Meghan means associating with someone who treats powerful allies as resources to extract value from. And now we reach the final truth that Meghan can never escape. How do you rebuild credibility when the most respected figure in your industry has quietly rejected you? Meghan stands in California watching her Hollywood dreams collapse, not because enemies attacked, but because she humiliated herself in front of someone whose opinion shapes entire careers. Sources close to the situation claim Meghan understands the disaster but cannot admit it publicly. She cannot acknowledge that she approached Beyoncé inappropriately because doing so means admitting her entire strategy is based on using powerful people rather than earning their respect. According to insiders, Meghan has tried to pretend the incident never happened, has avoided any reference to Beyoncé in subsequent interviews and projects, but the silence itself speaks volumes. In Hollywood, people notice when someone who once sought association with a major star suddenly goes quiet about them. It signals rejection. And rejection by Beyoncé carries weight that transcends one awkward conversation. Word from entertainment insiders suggests Meghan is now quietly blacklisted from events and opportunities where Beyoncé's network has influence, not through explicit campaigns, but through whispered awareness that Beyoncé found Meghan's approach problematic. And in an industry where access depends on reputation and relationships, that whispered awareness is a death sentence for the credibility Meghan desperately needs. The humiliation is complete, the damage is permanent, and Meghan must live with the knowledge that she destroyed her own Hollywood standing by approaching the one person she should have treated with genuine respect rather than calculated strategy. Because when you treat Beyoncé like a resource, you discover she is actually a judge, and her verdict on Meghan Markle is final. Subscribe to Royal Unfiltered for more such news.